Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Lucore Automotive. This video is going to be a little bit different. This is going to be a behind the scenes video where we're using a little bit of cutting room floor footage from the Gen Camaro exhaust video. There's a lot of things that went into getting that exhaust working on that car and modifying everything to be able to work in that third gen Camaro. Obviously it's not an easy process, and a few people have mentioned, oh, you know, what would you charge somebody to do this? How much did it cost to do this? How did you do it? What did you use? Blah, blah, blah. So I wanted to go ahead and cut together something that specifically addresses those conversations and explain to you why we probably wouldn't ever do this for somebody else ever again. Again, it's going to be some footage as far as Rich actually working on modifying the headers and getting everything set up on the top end of that exhaust, and then we'll go back through the rest of it here shortly. So the last part of the video will be actually up underneath the Camaro. I'm actually going over to Bill's place here shortly, and we're going to finish the video up over there so you can see the finished result and all the pieces and parts that we used and go from there. So hopefully you guys are going to enjoy this. Again, we're revisiting a little bit of the Kenny Powers Camaro, and yeah, here we go. Take it from here, Rich.
So I'm getting after Kenny's exhaust today. Running a little bit behind on that, but we'll get it done as soon as we get it done. We're just trying to work it in between a lot of our other workload right now. His old headers, the manifold gaskets were leaking. You can see this one was blown out. And they're a long tube which hangs down pretty low under the belly of the car. And with the trans cross member that they've selected, there's not really any place for me to run the exhaust through. Underneath on the bottom, you can run them down there with the right cross member, but we don't have that. So I'm gonna overly complicate things, and I picked up a set of hooker headers. I'm actually cutting off 3-volt flanges for V-band clamps, which will make it easy to service and will keep collector gaskets from being an issue. Make it easy to service if they ever have to pull the transmission out, because you know sometimes stuff breaks. But I'm still going to keep it a dual exhaust into an X pipe. I'm just going to run it down the original path where the factory ran the exhaust, and I'm going to try and keep it at like a 2.5-inch exhaust. We'll see if I can make that happen or not. We're going to start by lopping off this collector and fitting these V-band clamps, get those welded on. I will do my final install of the headers into the car, and then we'll start building our cross pipes and down pipes and all that stuff. So stick around, we'll keep moving. Oh, it was right where I left it. It's funny how that happens. It was actually in the drawer for a change. I actually put it away. Still held there. Looks like she's cracked pretty much the whole way around. Let's just work her off. Ouch. weld that in. Alright, that one's welded up. Apparently if you want to use the O2 bung, you need to drill the hole out. Because there's a bung there, but there's no hole. That's awkward. I guess I'll drill that out so that they can run a sensor to read air fuel. That'll do, donkey. That'll do. So we'll let this guy cool down and we'll still install these headers back in the car, and then we can make our pretzel pipes. So a lot of people don't talk about header quality. These headers, pretty much no matter what, are not going to end up sealing. The new headers I bought for this, the header flange is a flat surface all the way across. So the entire header flange is going to clamp around the bolts. If you look at the way this header is built, you can see it's only compressing in this small area where they welded it and then they machined it. And you can see the gasket doesn't even cover all of those points where the weld is. So with the flat flange, like the new headers I put on here, it will be a flat surface, so the header gaskets should be able to seal a lot better than with some of these lower quality headers. I'm not saying they're bad headers, I'm just saying that if you can't get your gasket to seal up correctly, you're going to be fighting exhaust manifold gaskets that will never seal. So spend a little bit more money for a nice flat sealing service is worth it every time, and hopefully we'll see that and we won't have him blowing out gaskets all the time. And then with the V-band clamps, there's no gasket there. It's a metal on metal surface and it's easy to assemble and disassemble. Should work out real well for him. I'm going to get these headers reinstalled with the composite gaskets that came with the headers. These look to be a pretty good quality. They're a metal reinforced composite gasket. I've had pretty good luck with this style gasket in the past. So I'm going to go ahead and use these. We'll see how they work. They should work just fine. Let me get this thing together. Then I can start making pretzels.
As I said, we're coming over to visit Bill and the guys, and as you can see above me, we have said Camaro. So as you saw from what Rich was doing, modifying the exhaust, modifying the headers to be able to get them to work on this car was considerably more time consuming than just bolt on and go. So could we have done that? Yes, quite possibly. These are hooker headers, they're mid-length headers. They come down to here. Long tubes, typically, like what was on this car originally, come back here. So the problem is, you have no way of routing exhaust. There's no way to do it. The only thing you can really ever do, and what you always see, is you just run straight sticks and some mufflers and you dump them down here. Well, we didn't want to do that. We wanted to keep this as a very streetable car. So we wanted to bring the exhaust over and around through kind of the factory tunnel type situation and then bring it back. So we had to go to the mid-length headers. Also, we wanted to go V-bands instead of having the collectors because those collector gaskets constantly blow out and it's just a pain in the neck. Whereas V-bands, you know, you don't have that problem. So it took a lot of doing. This whole process to be able to get these done, get that modified, you just saw a little bit of that in this video, but all of this bending, all of this fitting, all of this, getting all of this done, banging in the floors to be able to get all of this routed correctly, all of this stuff, it takes a ton of time. And time is money. Now, could we do this for another person's car? Yes, we probably could. Would we do this for another person's car? Probably not. Because nobody in their right mind would want to pay us retail labor rate for doing this kind of work. It just doesn't make sense. So while we appreciate everybody saying that, nobody would want to do this. And we're probably never going to do it again. Did it once. It worked out well. Kenny's happy. And that's what's important. But do it once, do it right, and then never do it again. So for those who don't know, Flowmaster FX mufflers, 2.5-inch exhaust all the way back. X-pipe, I'm not entirely sure where we got that from. That was a rich order. And then 90-degree corners, and then Hooker mid-length headers. And it does have a tap for his O2 sensor. As you can see, Kenny's already got his O2 already tapped in up there, so he can get some actual data out of this thing. So that's how this whole process goes. Now, I would like to say thank you very much to people who have been watching this video and who did make this, honestly, this past video with this Camaro, with Kenny's vehicle, our #1 video we've ever had as far as a launch goes. You guys are amazing, and we really, really appreciate it. And I'd like to say just a little bit about how that whole works. When we get a lot of viewership on a video and we're doing things for people, we're making revenue off that view. That view, as you guys pay attention to that video and you stay there longer and you go through the commercials, that money we can just generally turn straight around and do things like this for people. You know, we can do things for Billy, we could do things for Bill, we could do things for Kenny, because you guys are really paying attention to what we're doing for these things, and we can turn that money right back around. So your time spent watching our videos goes into being able to do stuff like this. So you are actually helping us do good things for good people. Cool? With that said, hey, watch as many videos as you want. The more money we make, the more money we can spend on doing cool stuff and good things for good people. So thanks for being here. We appreciate it. I'm going to wrap this up. You guys have a great day. It's finally really nice here in Central Ohio. I'm going to go cruise around in the Pontiac a little bit more and leave these guys alone to do whatever it is they need to do.
We need to throw the Frisbee. That's what we need to do. These dogs are way too fat.
Apparently they're going to throw some Frisbees. We'll see you later. Take care. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Kenny, you happy?
Very, very happy.
Are you happy?
As long as it stays here and doesn't come into my house.
You sound like Ricky Bobby when he's doing that commercial. Happy? Are you happy? Very happy.
Very happy. We'll see you later, guys. Take care.